In 1976, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren document the Amityville murders at the Amityville house to determine if a demonic presence was truly responsible for Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdering his family on November 13, 1974, and the subsequent haunting incident involving the Lutz family. During a seance, Lorraine is drawn into a vision where she relives the murders. A demonic nun figure appears and lures her to the basement, where she witnesses Ed being impaled before breaking out of the vision. In 1977, the Hodgson family begins to experience strange occurrences in their home in London. Janet, the second oldest of 4 children, is seen sleepwalking and conversing in her dreams with an entity in the form of an angry elderly man who insists that the house is his. Eventually, all the Hodgson siblings and their mother Peggy witness paranormal events occurring right before their eyes, forcing them to seek refuge with their neighbors. When the media attempts to interview the Hodgsons, Janet is possessed by the spirit of the elderly man, Bill Wilkins, who was revealed to have previously lived and died in the house. During the possession, Wilkins states that he enjoys tormenting the family and wants to reclaim his home. As Janet begins to show more signs of demonic possession, the story eventually reaches the Warrens and their assistance is requested to assist the local church in an investigation to prove whether or not Janet's possession is a hoax. Lorraine, fearful that her vision of Ed's death may become reality, warns him not to get too involved in the case, but she reluctantly agrees to travel to London with him. She has yet another vision of the demonic nun in Ed's study wherein the demon says its name, which Lorraine scribbles in her Bible. While staying at the Hodgson residence, Ed and Lorraine consult with other paranormal investigators including Maurice Gross and Anita Gregory on the legitimacy of the case. They also attempt to communicate with Wilkins' spirit, hoping to convince him to stop haunting the family. One night, after the Hodgsons witness Janet being possessed, Gregory presents video evidence of Janet purposely wrecking the kitchen, as if for a practical joke, thereby discrediting the haunting. Based on this discovery, Ed and Lorraine feel they have no choice but to leave the family on their own, but soon discover that the spirit of Wilkins is only a pawn being manipulated by the demonic nun to haunt Janet and break her will. Lorraine then realizes that her abilities have been blocked by the demonic nun, preventing her from grasping the truth of Janet's possession. Ed and Lorraine quickly return to the Hodgson residence, only to find Janet being possessed once more and the rest of the Hodgsons locked outside the house. Ed ventures inside the house alone. A lightning strike hits a tree near the house, leaving a jagged stump resembling the object that impaled Ed in Lorraine's vision. Ed finds Janet standing near the window, ready to leap onto the stump and commit suicide. He manages to grab Janet in time, but finds himself holding onto a curtain that is being torn from its rings by his and Janet's weight. Lorraine remembers that she wrote the demon's name, Valak, in her Bible. She enters the house and confronts Valak, addressing it by name and successfully condemns it back to hell. Janet is freed of its possession, and Lorraine pulls her and Ed to safety. After returning home to the United States, Ed adds an item to his and Lorraine's collection: the Crooked Man Zoetrope toy owned by Peggy's youngest child Billy, placing it near April's music box and the Annabelle doll.